Stampers, and thanks for joining me today. Today we are going to be creating this gorgeous vintage card. This inspiration came from Sarah Douglas. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Here's the part that's going to make you flip out the most. This background image is actually created using one of Stampin' Up's stencils. Yeah, that's right, stencils. True story, Stampin' Up sells stencils. There's some in our mini catalog right here on page 18. This is the one I'll be using today called Folk Flowers. Alright, let's get started. I'll be putting the Folk Flowers stencil over some Ivory Naturals cardstock. And then I'm taking some Versamark ink, very well loved. Don't you love knowing that yours isn't the only Versamark that looks like this? And what I'm going to do is just smush this right down. Make sure you got the whole thing covered. You can wipe off the stencil with Windex or a wet cloth after. Since my Versamark is dirty, you can almost see the shadow where it is here. What I'm trying to get at is a dirty Versamark pad isn't always bad. Clear embossing powder and a powder pal tray. Pour it right over the top. Flick off any extras. Pour your leftovers back into your drawer. Take your embossing heat tool and heat your powder. Once it's entirely melted, it should look glossy. And next, I'm taking one of my favorite dirty sponges. Kind of like your Pampered Chef stoneware, the more you use it, the more it's seasoned. I feel the same way about my sponges. I like all the color on there because it gives you a really fun contrast. Sometimes. This is one of those times. This is a soft suede ink pad and my seasoned sponge. And I'm just going to dip it in here and swirl it around. And it is going to give us a really beautiful resist look. After you wipe the sponge over it, just take a little cloth and wipe over it. Look at that. Isn't it awesome? So cool. So if you're the type of stamper that doesn't own seasoned sponges, you can take a little Always Artichoke and mix it with your sponge and your color. Oh, it's so beautiful, isn't it? Such a great resist technique. This can be done stamping your stamp in the Versamark as well. Next, also from the Occasions Mini, I'll be taking the Vintage Vogue stamp set. I'll be using the clear mount version today. I've just mounted them on block C. I'm going to dip them in the soft suede. And then just stamp it right on. Randomly in a couple spots. And then we'll tear the little top corner off there. This is good for getting your aggressions out. Tear your bottom corner off. Next, I'll just be taking a little piece of designer paper. This is actually from the Sweet Pea paper pack in the mini catalog. I'm going to take a little bit of snail adhesive. And we'll just stick that right on the back. Again, we'll tear off a little bit of the edge of that. And then I'm just going to take the bone folder here and just really give it a good rough up. Break down the fibers in it a little bit. The look I'm going for here is like when you rip off wallpaper, only to your dismay to find out that there's more wallpaper underneath. That's the look. And we're going to just stick that whole panel down on some soft suede. We'll stamp this in the soft suede. So then I'm going to take my bone folder and break down the fibers so that it's like a cooked pasta noodle when you're done. Just take your scissors and trim a little V. Take your friend the mini glue dot and then stick that down, and then take another mini glue dot I'm actually going to use 3 on this one so it looks like a banner that's flying in the wind. This flower in rich raspberry and the small flower once in Always Artichoke and once in crushed curry, and then cut this out. Abracadabra, through the magic of YouTube, they're all cut out. Yay! Paper piercing tool and a mat pack. Pop your hole right in the center of each one. Clear rhinestone brads. They pop right in the center. I took one of the larger ones for the big flower. Spread your back. Make sure that your prongs bend behind a flower petal so they don't show in the front. 2 of the smallest circle brads for the small flowers. 1 Stampin' Dimensional on the back of each flower. And then just place them down onto your project. So really, it's done at this point, and it's beautiful and gorgeous as it is. But I just couldn't leave well enough alone. I love this splattered vintage look, and I just wanted to add it to the card. I couldn't help myself. I took our spritzer tool and the soft suede Stampin' Right marker, push the brush tip end of the marker right through the holder, and align it so it's right against the little nozzle here. And then you want to give this a good strong squeeze. Isn't that awesome? And I did the whole thing over the flowers, everything. Oh my gosh, it just gave it that added oomph. And that completed our card. Isn't that gorgeous? Awesome sponge resist technique here. Some color spritzing. The banner flag. All of it pulls together for this simply gorgeous, gorgeous card. Be sure to visit my blog for tons more tutorials, tips, and ideas. Thanks for joining me today.